It's the night before I want to make sourdough, and as you could see in the picture that I took earlier, I took my sourdough starter out of the refrigerator. It had a little bit of separation with the liquid separated to the top. I let it sit and come to room temperature, which doesn't take terribly long, but you do want it to come to room temperature at least an hour. And now I'm ready to make the sourdough sponge so that we'll be ready to make sourdough tomorrow morning. So I'm going to open up the jar to my sourdough starter. I'm going to pour all of the starter into a glass bowl. You can use plastic, but you do not use metal. You see that it leaves some residue in the jar. All of my technique comes out of laziness. So what I do next is take warm water, very warm to the touch, and put it in the jar so I get the remaining residue out of there. All you're going to add tonight is water and flour. I'm using all-purpose unbleached flour. Notice that my starter is a quart full of starter. So I'm going to be putting in 3.5 cups of water and 4 cups of flour. If you use a pint, then you're going to add 1 3/4 cups of water and 2 cups of flour. All we're basically doing is kicking this starter to life. So that was my water. There's my flour that I measured out earlier. And I'm just going to mix it together until it's all liquid or all wet. And it'll be a lumpy mess, like a very lumpy pancake batter. All I did was get the flour down in there. And it's as easy as that. Put that spoon in there so that it gets the remainder off of it. There's my lumpy mess of starter. It has all of my starter. It has the water, the very warm water, and it has the all-purpose flour. As I said, if you use a quart worth of sourdough starter, then you use 3.5 cups of very warm water and 4 cups of all-purpose flour. If you have a pint, use 1 3/4 cup of very warm water and 2 cups of flour. Now we're going to cover it, so I'm going to take a little bit of water on my hand, run it around the edge of the outside of the bowl. And take my plastic wrap, sort of hard to do one-handed, to cover the top. The reason that I wet the outside of the bowl was so that the plastic wrap would stick well. If we want to get a good seal on this, let the gas bubbles get trapped in there as it sits overnight. There is no specific timer on this. You're just going to let it sit overnight till that flour starts to get eaten up by the yeast and the bubbles form, and then you're ready to start making your sourdough. So plastic wrap tight on top with a one-handed job here. Okay, I'm going to take the starter that we've just prepared to my stove. I'm setting it on top of the burner on the stove. Please note that the burner is not on. I'm just putting it there because it's a little chilly in the house tonight. I'm going to set the stove to 200. Notice this is the oven setting, not the stove top. All I'm trying to do is create a warm environment for this to sit in overnight. So there's my glass bowl with my starter in it, and it's sitting on top of the oven that has been turn to 200 degrees for the evening. And I'm going to bed, and tomorrow we'll make sourdough.